Morning again, Howard.
Good morning. 3rd of November. Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura.
Okay, very good. This is Rabbi Stone First again, as Nuso introduced me very nicely. Thank you. This is our second share in the morning. Here you see the Samanavshi here in Yerushalayim, here on Zoom. We're learning Hilchos Kapayim, Berurah Kohanim in the Mishnah Berurah Simin Kuf of Ches, and we are in the middle of
By the way,
you
you should have gotten an email from me about Meir's wife. The surgery went well yesterday.
Yeah. And yes, in fact, I did. Baruch Hashem. I'm very happy you sent it out. Thank you very much. I'm happy that went well.
And he slept at the hospital, so that's undoubtedly why he's not here now.
Yeah, I'm sure he's been going through quite a few days of very intensive prayers and such. So, Baruch Hashem. If you do see him later today or speak to him, tell him I'm very happy that his wife came through the surgery, Baruch Hashem, very well. Hashem. Okay. Let's we're in the middle here. Let's review the Mechaber in Yud Gimel. Okay. I guess we have the opportunity to do the reading today again.
Okay, Yud Daled, Yud Gimel. Yud Gimel is back here. Yud Gimel. So, Maschilin HaKohanim. Is that where we are?
Exactly. Very good.
Okay. Lomar Yivarechecha. Okay, so from the beginning, the Kohanim say Yivarechecha.
Right, that's the first word of the brachas.
Right.
Okay, so the Kohanim start by saying Yivarechecha, which is the first word of the brachas that they'll be saying.
Okay, so Haggah, the Ramah.
Yes.
The Yesh Omrim Shegam Milas Yevarechecha. There are those who say that also the words Yevarechecha Yikra Oso. He calls himself
Yikra Oso Shatz.
The Shliach Tzibor also calls out the word Yivarechecha.
Right. So according to the Mechaber, the Sephardim, the Shatz does not say the first word, Yivarechecha. According to the Ashkenazim, the Shatz does say Yivarechecha.
Okay, but he says Yesh Omrim. Does that mean only some people say that, or
right?
Yeah.
Some say it.
Okay. Techila, the Tzliach Tzibor says it initially. The tour and Rabbeinu Nachman.
Yeah, that's the Ran. Right, those are the sources of the halacha.
Oh, the tour and the Ran. Perech HaKoreh. Okay, that's a reference. V'chein nohagim b'chol medinos elu, and this is the custom in our countries.
Yep, our regions, right?
Which is basically the Ashkenazi regions, the Eastern Europe, correct?
Correct. That's right. Okay. We're back at Barry in Siman Kuf Chet Yud Gimel. We're in the middle of reviewing the Mechaber and the Ramah.
You just see.
Ve'achar kach Makre Osam Shliach Tzibor Mila B'Mila. And afterwards, the Shliach Tzibor calls out word by word. V'heim onim acharav, and they say after him, I'll call milah, each word, ad sheyisaimu pasuk rishon, until they complete the first pasuk.
Right.
So in other words, according to the Mechaber, except for the word Yivarechecha, the Shliach Tzibor says every word, and the Kohanim say every word after him.
Correct. That's right.
Va'az onim hatzibor amen, and then the congregation says amen. Meaning what? They say amen once after all the words?
Of the first pasuk, right?
Okay. V'chein achar pasuk bet, and similarly after the second pasuk, v'chein achar pasuk gimel, and similarly after the third pasuk.
Right. Very good.
Okay, Mishna Berura now.
Right. Well, let's start with mem chet. Lomi yivarechecha.
Mem Ches. Lomar Yivarechecha. To say Yivarechecha. Sevira lay. He thought about this. Gema de kaima lan. That what is established here, she tarich the hakros osam mila b'mila, that it's necessary to call out to them word by word. Who levad? Where does it continue? Oh, over here. Who levad? Miteva Rishonah. He alone from the first. Teva is nature.
The first word. That's accepting. So they have to call out to the Kohanim each word except for the first word. Like this again in the opinion of the Mechaber, that you don't have to say the Shatz does not say the first word.
Okay. Devei leka lamit ai.
Right. That in that first word you're not going to make a mistake. I mean, the Kohanim aren't going to make a mistake about the first word, so therefore the Shatz doesn't have to say the first word according to the Mechaber.
So mitoy is a mistake.
Yeah, to err.
So we're not worried that they're going to make a mistake in the first word, so he doesn't have to say it.
Right. So according to the Mechaber, the Svardim, according to the Mechaber's opinion, they don't have to say Yivarechecha because it's not liable to have any error about that first word.
In other words, we're afraid that the Kohen might lose his concentration and get confused about where he is.
Right. That would be in the middle of the brachas, right?
Right, but he's not going to make that mistake in the beginning. He hasn't started yet.
Right. We have but nevertheless, the Ramah says that you should say it anyway. We have a very similar halacha by Hilchos Shofar. And you know by Shofar there's the makra that he calls out tekiah, shvarim trua tekiah, right? So the very first one, meaning after the Baal tekiah says the bracha on the shofar and the shechianu. So there's a difference of opinion whether the makra, the one who's calling out, has to call out the first tekiah.
Oh, really?
Very similar to this, right? The general custom is that he calls it out anyway. Like that would be like the Ramah here at Birkus Kohanim, but it's very similar question as to whether or not since it's not really possible to the Baal Tekiah blowing the shofar is going to make a mistake about the first Tekiah, so maybe it's not necessary for the Makra to call out the first Tekiah. Very, very similar. Okay. Memtet.
Memtet. V'achar kach makre osa. And afterwards he calls it.
He'll call out all the words, right?
Right. Midich tsiv amor lahem. From what is written, he says to them, vidar shinan, and we derive milamed shehachazan, to teach that the chazan, the shliach tzibur, omer lahem imru. He says to them, imru, is that the second word?
Again, the fact that it says in the pasuk, it says amr lahem, it should be said to them. That's in the psukim, the verses that discuss the mitzvah of the Kohanim giving brachas to the Klal Yisrael. So it says amr lahem. So meaning it's a reference that you should say to them. So that's darshinan milamed. We darshan, we extrapolate from that, and we learn shachazan omer lehem amru, right? That we say from there that the chazan says to the kohanim amru. He says the word amru to the kohanim.
Okay. Umikol makom, nevertheless, hu rak the mitzvah lechat chila. It is only the mitzvah, the initial mitzvah. The eino ma'akev.
Ma'akev, right?
Ma'akev. What's ma'akev?
It doesn't prevent it, meaning nevertheless, it's only a mitzvah l'katchila. The fact that you should call out to the kohen here, it's a mitzvah l'katchila. Ideally, that's the way the mitzvah should be done. Makom, nevertheless, eino ma'akev. It doesn't. If it's not done, it will not scuttle. It will not ruin the mitzvah.
Ura ayah lazeh. And the proof of this, mil kaman siman kaf hey, will be learned further on in siman kaf hey.
Yeah, the raya, the proof to this, the proof to this is, as we'll see later on in siman sif kaf hey.
Base hak. Shekula Kohanim, a shul which is all Kohanim, Ayin Sham, look over there at the Pri Hadash.
Right.
Because Sav Od, and it is written furthermore that the Shliach Tzibur, that the Shliach Tzibur Tzarich Lahakros Mitoch Hasidur Lo Baal Peh, that the leader is required to read from a siddur and not by heart, not to recite by heart.
Right. So what do we see? We see from over there that that if you have a base Knesset, which is entirely made of Kohanim, and we see over there that in the case where the Shatz has to call out Mitoch Siddur, low Balpeh, meaning that the Shatz himself has to read from a Siddur. He shouldn't call out simply with the use of an envelope.
So what does that have to do with the fact that it's all Kohanim?
Because in that case, it's not, you can't really say Amr Lehem because he's calling out to himself as well. So in that case, I don't think he says Amr Lehem. He doesn't call out. So you see, in the case where the base Knesset is entirely made of Kohanim, there's no need to say Amr Lehem, Amr. There's no need to say that.
I'm not following. Why not?
There's only Kohanim in the base Knesset.
Right.
So that means the Shatz himself is going to be Duchanim. So
Oh,
it's
he
not-
is also a Kohen.
Yes, he's also a Kohen.
Okay, I see.
Okay. So therefore, in that case, he'll read out from a siddur the brachas, but he's not going to say Amru. He's not going to call out to the Kohen because he has to call out to himself also. So it's not it's the catch-22.
Well, isn't that the similar problem if, which could possibly happen in our shul, that the one Kohen is davening for the Amid,
Right.
and then then it's time for him to go up. So what he does is after he finishes Smarn Esra,
Right.
he does it fast, so he goes. Goes to wash himself because usually I'm still davening.
Right.
So he
Right.
washes himself and then he goes back to the Amid, and then when it's time he goes up, and then so then someone else has to call out.
That's right. Exactly. You have to trade off.
Right.
But I'm still not clear on the connection with the idea of he has to read it as opposed to say it by heart. What does that have to do with the fact that he's a Kohen?
Because when he's a Kohen and there's no one else to call out, right? Because everyone's a Kohen.
Right.
So someone's got to duchen and someone has to call out. So he's not supposed to say the word Bereshus or Amr Lechem, right? Not supposed to say
Right.
Amr Lechem because it's contradictory. He can't say to them when he's referring to himself as well.
Right.
Therefore, he should not say those words. Don't say those words. So for the evidence, it'll be okay. And besides that, you have to be careful about that. Since he's a Kohen as well, he has to read the Birkas Kohanim B'Doka Siddur. So he himself shouldn't get confused. First, because he's a Kohen himself and he's giving the blessings to Kening. And secondly, that he's going to be giving the brach himself, and it's liable that he's going to be getting confused. So he has to call out and also say the brach at the same time.
Okay, I see. In other words, there's no person really in the role of the Shliach Tzibur to keep everybody in line. So therefore, they're emphasizing that he needs to make sure that he's reading it so that he keeps everybody in line.
And himself.
That's right. Exactly.
Okay, I got it.
Good.
So back to the Mechaber.
Yeah, please. Let's see. Did we finish Mem Test? We finished the Mem Test. Yes. So that will bring us to Nun. They're right. You dial it in the Mechaber. Correct.
Ein mevarchin ella b'lashon hakodesh. One may not bless. One must only bless in Hebrew. Uva'amida uvin sias kapayim. In the Amida and in the raising of the hands, uvakol ram, and in all, I don't know what Ram is. Rabbi, you there?
Yeah, go ahead. There's
What is
only
the word Ram?
out loud.
Oh, out loud.
Kol Ram, right? The Kol Ram, out loud.
So he has to use Hebrew for for everything. The Shmona Esrei, the raising of the hands, and for the calling out.
Right.
V'achar kach.
So that's what that goes. Stop. Let's do the Mr. Brewer here first.
Oh, okay. Mishna Berura, you Dalid. Little
Right,
nun.
Nun, right? Nun.
Right.
Nun. Right.
Ein mevarachim v'kule. He doesn't bless, etc. V'chol zeh hu no, man, that's memchet. In all of this, he min ha-Torah, from the Torah, de yalfinan chol zeh makri'e. I don't know what the yalfinan is.
We're frozen here. We frozen?
Oh,
Here we go.
Lou's frozen. Yeah, we
Yeah,
lost.
yeah.
No,
Okay.
No, he's back now. Okay.
I'm back.
You're
Back
back?
in-
What is the word yalfinan, Rabbi?
Yalfinan that we learn, we derive. Yalfinan we derive.
We derive. So in all of this,
Pulls that.
it's from the Torah.
Right. This is a Torah mitzvah, a mitzvah doraisa, right? This is a Torah a mitzvah doraisa. How do we know? We derive it from
Mikra'e, the word mikra'e,
psukim, verses.
oh, from verses. We derive it from verses, bilashon hakodesh, in Hebrew. Dichsiv ko sivarachu bilashon hazeh. That it's written, thus will you bless in this language.
Right.
Uva amida, and the amida, dichsiv, it's written, l'shar so, ulevarech.
Right.
What is this word, l'shar so?
The shard literally means to serve, right? I mean, when you're doing the avoda, you have to be standing up when you're doing the avoda. So
Right.
the kohanim, when they're giving the brachas, it has to be in lashon hakodesh. It has to be doing when they're standing up.
Right. Bishmo ma sherus ba'amida. And in the name of this, what's sherus?
It's, okay, it has to be lisharso. It says in the pasuk, "Lisharso livarach bishmo." You should serve and bless bishmo in the name of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Ma shirus b'amida, just as shirus meaning serving, doing the avoda, is when you're standing up.
Dichsiv la'amod le'shares. It's written that you should stand to serve. Hachi
Right.
nami, here also baracha with the blessing. Uvin si as kapayim, and the raising of the hands. Dichsiv, it's written. Vayisa Aharon es Yadav. And Aaron raised his hands, El Ha'am, toward the nation, Varachem, and he blessed them.
Right.
With a kol ram, in a loud voice.
Exceed, as it says, Amur Lahem. You should say to them,
As it says, say to them, Ka'adam ha'omer l'chaveru, like a man says to his friend.
right. So, okay, well, we're in the middle here. We'll have to stop. It's 10:30 now. So we'll continue this tomorrow, okay? But those are the sources that you have to say it. The Birkas Kohanim has to say it in Lashon HaKodesh. It has to be done while you're standing up, and it has to be done in a loud voice, able to be heard. And those things are all learned out from the Torah.
It
So,
looks, I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead. What?
No, I'm saying, so we'll probably have to start over again at noon. Of course, we're right, kind of like in the middle of that.
Could be. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll give it a try tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
Great.
Everyone, thank you. Thank
Okay.
you, Barry.
Have a good,
day.
okay, all the best.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Right. Bye-bye.